Good morning. Good morning. Happy Easter. Welcome to this new day, new beginning, and an opportunity to turn the tide. There's a promise, I feel it coming, in the rising of the turning tide, where every burden shall be lifted, on the surge of faith inside, and every spirit will feel the blessing, every soul will be satisfied. We are rising higher, higher in this turning tide. We are rising, rising in this turning tide. We are rising, rising in this turning tide. I hear music in the madness. I see a vision for a brighter day. I talk passion from our sadness and fuel the fire for a better way. I put my money where the mouth is. I get on board this freedom ride. We are rising higher, higher in this turning tide. We are rising, rising in this turning tide. We are rising, rising in this turning tide. And so promise becomes the present, and the future is opening wide. We are guided, we are gifted, we are lifted up inside, and nobody can do it for us. We sing our own hallelujah for us. We are rising higher, higher in this turning tide. We are rising higher, higher. Yes, we are in this turning tide.
Well, good morning and happy Easter. Yes, this is not Reverend Sandy. My name is Reverend Pacheco, and I was her intern, I guess we would call it, during my ordination. So I'm happy and glad to be here and be of service of any way to her. So I'm definitely happy and glad that everybody's here today. So let's go ahead and move into our opening prayer. So if we can close our eyes and just feel this moment, this energy in this room right now, knowing that today we celebrate that rising of the Christ within ourselves. We release the outer world knowing that we can always go inside of ourselves to be part of that Christ consciousness, that indwelling divinity within each and every one of us. We can see and express it into our world. And as it said, we bring heaven onto earth as we begin to live this life as the Christ, not only for ourselves, for those that we encounter in our life. And as our way-shower always did his miracles, he gave thanks first. So we give thanks knowing that all that we see and all that we want to do is already done. And so it is, and so we let it be. And we affirm it here with an amen. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Richard. And now,
you'll join me in our mission statement together. Give Davis Town a loving community, embrace spiritual awakening through affirmative prayer and meditation, creating a positive path of abundant living for all. And now we have the reading of the daily word. And I don't see today's reader here. And Baker is stepping forward. Thank you, Ann.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Jesus rose above all limitations, transcending darkness to light and death to new life. His overcoming death is the ultimate inspiration and example for humankind, a precious gift of hope and renewal. This Easter, I gratefully accept my renewal as I awaken to the call of the divine. I turn to the Christ presence within me and discover new life and energy, lifting me into higher awareness and understanding of spiritual truth. In so doing, I leave behind that which held me in bondage. I rise above limiting beliefs, habits, and actions. With unwavering faith, I rise to accept inspiring new possibilities and the fullness of God's glorious life, love, and grace. And from Peter, blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. By his great mercy, he has given us a new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. And I invite you to say the affirmation on the screen with me. I rise to accept new life and renewal. Let that settle down into your heart space, breathing deeply into it. And let's repeat it one more time. I rise to accept new life and renewal.
Thank you, Ann. And now we have an opportunity to greet our neighbors. And just as a gentle reminder, this is a chance to introduce yourself, perhaps. Say hello, how are you? Not to share your life story. Okay. And another reminder, if you are not a hugger, please put your hand out. If you don't want to shake hands, then that's fine. It's your preference. Just say hello, or just let it be known. Maybe a little namaste out. So let's greet our neighbors. And also, if you would like to go up to the camera and say hello to friends who are watching on Facebook, if you're not comfortable with that, do that.
Hello, Facebook friends. Good morning. Happy Easter. Hey, I want to say hello to you guys. Happy Easter. It's good that you're with us. We so appreciate you. We love you. And you know what? One of these days, I would love to have you come join us. Take care, my friends. Happy Easter. Hi, Facebook folks. Happy Easter. Good to see you. Happy Easter. Hello, Facebook friends. So glad you're joining us on this beautiful day.
We come with open hearts. We come with open minds. We come to make a sacred space for truth to be revealed in this time. This time. In this time. This time. We come with open hearts. We come with open minds. We come to make a sacred space for spirit to reveal in this time. In this time. This time.
Thank you, Brent and Patty. What a beautiful song, and so effective in gathering us back together, isn't it? Yes. Well, now we have a special treat. We have a wisdom skit, Reader's Theater with Jay and Jeff. So go ahead and get yourself set up, guys, and grab your mics.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes, Jay.
What you up to?
Sitting.
Make sure you have a green light. Just green light.
Oh, there we go. Me too. Oh, well, I was thinking about getting up.
Good luck with that. Getting up is overrated.
Really?
Believe me, I tried it once.
Oh. It's just that I have this funny feeling.
Sure, they make a cream for that.
It's like this energy humming beneath my skin.
Make a cream for that, too.
No, not like that, silly. It's like no matter how down I get, my very being just wants to get up and do things.
Not me. I'll stand right here.
Haven't you ever noticed, though, how no matter how harsh the winter might be, spring just comes bursting out all over the place? That's what it feels like.
Look, if you want to get up, that's fine. Not me. I'm too tired. If I had a time machine, I'd just use it to go back to bed.
But have you ever seen photos of what happens after a forest fire? It can be total devastation, but within days, new life starts popping up.
How about you pop up and take care of yourself then?
Come on, Jeff. Don't you know what I mean? It's like life is this dynamic force, beating my heart and breathing my lungs without me having to do a thing.
There you have it. I don't want to have to do a thing.
But I have this notion.
Oh, here we go.
I have this idea that if I put my mind to directing this force, I can do amazing things. Look how much it does without me lifting a finger. What would happen if I really paid attention? I mean, I could energize all my affairs with this life energy. Imagine all the things I could accomplish.
If you get up, you might get in an accident, have your heart broken, get lost, catch a virus, lose all your money, or you might have to talk to somebody you don't even like. Wait, apparently that can happen when you're sitting too.
Don't be silly. I know you like me. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. I'm getting up.
Oh, here he goes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, give him some love.
before we start, I just want to make sure everybody has a rock. If you need one, just raise your hand, and our beautiful reader will help you find one. You don't have to go outside for it. This is an important piece of our meditation today. She's coming around, so. And those who are watching virtually, you may want to get a rock or a stone, or even just draw a picture of a stone on a piece of paper. That would work as well. It's the symbol that it's representing. So, up to over here, Brenda. Okay. So the Gospel of Luke, we read, but on the first day of the week, at early dawn, they came to the tomb, taking the spices that they had prepared. They found the stone rolled away from the tomb, but when they went in, they did not find the body. While they were perplexed about this, suddenly two men in dazzling clothes stood beside them. The women were terrified and bowed their faces to the ground. But the men said to them, why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here, but he is risen. Excuse me. So the resurrection story that we are all pretty much familiar with is one in which we are presented with the idea of a man who realized his divine essence, his Christ consciousness, to such an extent that he was able to tap into a whole new level of consciousness. But the good news is we all have that potential within us. We have that Christ consciousness within. Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, tells us Jesus developed the innate powers of mind and body and thereby became a citizen of the heavens, or realms where dwell the sons of God. He did this by the power of his word, by releasing the imprisoned electrons of his body and raising them to spiritual consciousness. In other words, in case you need to translate that, because Fillmore sometimes needs translating. Jesus, who we see as our elder brother, our way shower, dwelled in that knowledge of who he was as a spiritual being. He dwelled in that knowledge, that understanding that he and the Father are one, that he was one with all creation. The kingdom of heaven was not someplace up in the sky somewhere, but a state within, a state of consciousness within, that we all have. And we can access this consciousness. We can rise up to this consciousness. It's through the power of his word, Fillmore tells us, that he was able to release the ego and rise up. And it's through the power of our word. Our words are creative. Our thoughts and our words are creative. That we can continue to shift our perspective so that we may grow and expand in awareness of who we truly are, and not stay in kind of a limited egoic perspective. Fillmore continues, to Jesus, the God presence was an abiding flame, a flame of life everlasting, that he felt in every cell of his body, making him more and more alive, cleansing and purifying him, until he became every whit perfect. A definition for perfect is whole. He realized his wholeness through that presence within him, that he is. That presence is that experience of the divine that we can partake of, that purifies us, that cleanses us, if you will. You know, we understand that energy is never destroyed and that we are energetic beings. Energy is never destroyed, it just changes form. So, we are energy, and we have this innate power to realize our wholeness through the activity of that spirit of life within us, to realize our own perfection as healthy divine mind, just through tapping into those realms that Jesus led us to. The innate powers of mind and body. Fillmore tells us if we were caught in the meshes of a giant spider web and someone had broken free and created a path for us, we would follow them. Well, we can think of this as we are caught in this illusion of life. We're caught in this spider web of egoic defensiveness, really. But we can make our escape by following the way showers in our world. Our elder brother being one of them. And we may not have the abiding faith that Jesus did. We may have intermittent faith in our own divine essence. But we have enough faith that we can move towards it, towards being in that Christ consciousness for longer and longer periods of time, to resurrect to a higher consciousness, to live the life abundant. And that is what we're talking about. That spirit of, that presence of God within us is that presence of life that activates a feeling of wholeness. Joanne McFadden tells us Easter can be a time where we commit ourselves to removing whatever blocks us from expressing the Christ consciousness that is our true nature. And this is why we're here today, or maybe one of the reasons why we're here today, to remove the blocks that are keeping us from living our truth, the truth of who we are. We are an individual expression of God. We are one with not only the Creator, but the creation. We are one. One love, one spirit, one life. Now the symbol, well, one of the symbols for this weekend is the cross. And I wanted to share with you what unity teaches about the cross, because if we look at it metaphysically, so that it may help us understand who we are in a little bit deeper way. We see an expression of our divinity, and our humanity and our divinity. Our humanity and our divinity. That's an intersection there. But you notice that our humanity keeps us on the kind of even keel sometimes. I mean, we may have fluctuations in our life, but our divinity is always inviting us to expand more and more in consciousness and awareness. There are a series of Yiddish folklore stories about a town of fools. Yes, I just jumped direction there pretty quickly. I understand. Stay with me. I know you guys know I do that sometimes. And these stories are teaching stories. And one story tells of the entire town who decided to move a huge stone that was on top of the hilltop. So they all went up there and started dragging the stone slowly down the hill. And when they were about halfway down, a stranger came up to them and said, "Why are you dragging the stone? Why don't you just give it a push and it will roll?" And they said, They decided to do that. So they dragged the stone back up the hill. Well, my friends, the stone that we may be dragging downhill is that consciousness in our life that we fail to integrate. So we end up dragging it around with us wherever we go, instead of allowing it to follow its natural course of healing. Now, one way we can see what needs to be integrated is through our words. When we make excuses of why we can't do something, whether we're too old or too young, or not smart enough, not worthy enough, that is a message to us that there's something there that could use a little loving understanding and care, a little healing. When we explain why we don't do something that we've desired to do, why we can't change, or why we don't attempt something, it's a signal that it's a stone that we are dragging around. And perhaps today is the time to let it roll away. You know, the mind is full of excuses. That is part of the human experience. I'm too tired, it's too hot, it's too cold, whatever it is. But when we make it personal about why we're not doing something, or why we didn't do something, or why we can't do something, it's keeping us trapped on that level of humanity. It's keeping us trapped in that level of ego, really. It's tying us to our egoic nature. We're unable to really realize the fullness of life, the abundance of life. These excuses, these stones that we drag around, that we continue to work against gravity, against the natural healing flow, against the internal invitation that invites us to move forward, to be uplifted. You know, we may think that we have to drag these steps around, that we can't let go of them, that it's too hard to change. But isn't that another excuse? It's too hard to change. I've tried it before. That's mine. Yeah, it's too hard to change, but we can change. It's as the verse from Luke that I read earlier, it's as though we are living in the land of the dead by dwelling in these excuses and not moving to the land of that abundant life, the living. So when we make these excuses, they tend to overwhelm us. They take over, they scatter our focus, they scatter our ideas, our thoughts, and really we're kind of left sitting there, as you saw in the skit. Carol Adams tells us, when we experience an aspect of our lives that is unfocused, we are learning that our spiritual practice has not touched us in this place. More than the content of the excuses, the lack of clarity in the excuses themselves announces the presence of unfocused energy. What if we focused back in and was able to use that energy to move forward? So, we can do this by examining what excuse we've been making and focusing on those stones that we're dragging around, that we're pushing uphill even. And as we do so, we may discover that the excuses are covering a feeling, whether it's of unworthiness, inadequacy, whatever it is. The excuses are just a mask or a messenger, if you will, of those feelings waiting to be healed. And as we allow those feelings to come forth, instead of pushing them down, as we examine them and don't fight them, but don't dwell in them either, then we can allow them to heal. We allow that light to shine on them. So just as the women at the tomb saw two men who gave them a message, and they were terrified at first, is what the scriptures say, our initial reaction may be one of fear as well. What if I can't do this? When we begin to examine these stones, there's a message there for us, and it's a clear message. We are invited to roll those stones away. Of course, miracles tells us there is no order of difficulties in miracles or in healing, which is really the same thing, according to, of course, that definition. All problems have the root in the same idea, and that is an idea of separation from God. All problems have the root in the same idea of separation from God. So what is the remedy then? If that is the problem, the remedy is to be aware, more and more aware, that we are one with God. One with God. Or whatever word that you want to use. One with love. One with that higher self, my true self, divine essence, Buddha nature. You fill in the blank for whatever works for you. It's all coming down to the same thing. So, just as the stone was rolled away from the entrance of the tomb, we too can roll away the stone of our small selves to let our true selves express a higher and deeper level of consciousness. That we can allow that light within to search our hearts, to soften the stones that we might have built around our hearts. We can regain our power, not to have it drained or zapped, not to constantly go over the wrongs, but we can regain our power and move into spirit-led action. We know that nothing is changed on the same level of consciousness that created it. So whoever or whatever pushes our buttons these days, whether it's social media, politicians, neighbors, or family, it doesn't matter. We can turn that heart of stone, or the walls that we built around our hearts, into one of compassion through forgiveness. Forgiveness is an aspect of love. And it recognizes that what we thought had happened could never have happened on the level of spirit, where we are one with the divine. Yes, we are having a human experience, but on the level of spirit, all are connected. All are love. There's other stones that we may be carrying around too, and that might be feel more like a boulder weighing us down, and the stones of guilt. But forgiveness works here too, because God doesn't judge. God doesn't judge. If there is something for which you are feeling guilty, self-forgiveness is called for, because in the realm of spirit, you are perfect and whole just as you are. I want to say God sees only perfection. That takes us to an anthropomorphic God. But that is kind of what I want to say. So if we've been dragging this boulder of guilt around, or a stone of unforgiveness around, or the stones that we may be carrying around through feelings of separation, which they all are, we can use today to decide differently, right? We can use every moment of any day to decide differently. But we're in a special place right now because we are surrounded by love. We have that activity of spirit moving through, among, and with us today. So as we move into a time of meditation, we'll be using the stones to symbolize what we're releasing, and then choosing a flower to symbolize new life. You know, if you could see yourself on the level of spirit, that loving perspective of spirit, you would see that you are as innocent on that level as you believe you are guilty on the level of ego. So we don't have to drag any of these stones around. And no real effort is needed to release them. It just involves some self-examination and connection to presence within. Although you may need to make amends, I do want to qualify that. You may be invited by your inner wisdom to make amends. So, we choose life abundant. Did this go off?
Yes.
We choose life. I just changed the batteries. I mean, can I have one of these? Yes. Thank you. We choose life abundant instead of living from an egoic perspective, instead of dwelling on what could have been or should have been or can never be. Easter is about rising above the level of ego and living life abundant. Noda Books tells us, do not think that you must wait to die to know eternal life. Life in its fullness is here now. Life is here and now. We can have that life abundant. And today may be the first step in doing it. So Ernest Holmes told us that if we are incarnations of God, then our spirit is God individualized, and as such, it must be eternal. We have that which is within us that is always, always. We'll just leave it at that. It always is. So as we move into a time of meditation, there will be a guided meditation followed by a period of silence in which you are invited to come and place the stones on the table. If there's something that you'd like to release, place it on the table and choose life as represented by the flower. And I will give you a word of caution. These are a little unstable.
So the cleanup crew would appreciate if you're mindful when you face them on the floor or whatever. Okay. So let's go ahead and move into a time of. Oh, you know what? We're going to do a song first. Sorry, Patty. Song first. And this will prepare us for meditation. Count on. Let's just take a breath. Feel the floor beneath your feet. They are supported by the universe. Let's start from your head down to your shoulders. Just relax. You can feel that wave of love. Just start from your head all the way down to your feet. It's time to let go. Allow God to move through you. Let go and let God. 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 Let love. Let go and let God. 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 As we let go, we know that we have everything that we could ever want, that we could ever desire, what we need, what we think we need. It is all within us. Let go and let God. Let go and let God. Let go and let God. Feel the release. Let go and let God. 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 Let go and let God.
as we enter a time of reflection and meditation, let us focus on our heart space. See if there's anything that we've been carrying around that we can release. In the quiet, we shine that gentle light of understanding and love on whatever presents itself. Keeping our focus on our hearts, we allow that spirit of compassion to fill us. Today we partake of the spirit of Easter. We roll away the stones in our lives that are blocking us from living a spirit-led life, that are blocking us from our highest good, that are blocking us from knowing on a deep level who we truly are. An expression of love, an expression of God. So as we move into a time of silence, and this is an internal silence, as we calm our thoughts, we allow that which needs to be released to come to mind for healing, for love, for compassion. And when and if you are ready to bring the stone forward, to symbolically release what is no longer useful, what keeps us feeling separated. Release unforgiveness for ourselves or for others. That, releasing that which keeps us from life, the life abundant. And then symbolically choosing a flower to symbolize a new perspective for you. Choosing life. Moving away from the land of the dead. Dead in our ego, dead in our limited perspectives. Choosing the flower really represents saying yes. Yes, I will follow my inner wisdom, my guidance. Yes, I will invoke that power of thought to create a spirit-led life. Yes. So we go into the silence. And when you're ready, you can come forward if you like. partake of the spirit of Easter and feel a resurrecting power of God in every part of their life. As we continue to sit quietly, let us listen to the words of this next song.
As I roll away the stone and sea, love has come to give new life to me. So have it more abundantly, precious life, blessed life, eternally. Imprisoned by the errors in my thinking, my jailers, they all smiled and walked away. Then love came in with the key and helped me see the light of day. As I roll away the stone and sea, love has come to give new life to me. So I'll have it more abundantly, precious life, blessed life, eternally. I need to walk the path up to that hilltop. I'll never really live until I die. To everything that holds me down, to all that keeps me bound, that's why I roll away the stone and see love has come, bringing life to me. So I'll have it more abundantly, precious life, blessed life, eternally. Precious life, blessed life, eternally.
Yes, thank you, Brent. Beautiful song. If you will join me in our offertory affirmation together. God is lavish, unfailing abundance, the rich, omnipresent substance of the universe. This all-providing source of infinite prosperity is individualized as me, the reality of me. Yes, I know it's a mouthful, but it's powerful. Okay. So let's take our tithes and offerings and just go into our heart space. We bless these gifts. We bless the givers. We dedicate the donations today to the work of this ministry. In releasing the idea of separation, knowing that we are one with life, one with love, one with all. Amen.
This is my wish, a wish for all the world, that peace would find a way to every boy and girl. This is the time for harmony. Let love be the song that everybody sings. Fill the air with joyful noise. Ring the bells and raise your voice. Set there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. Lift your light and shine, shine. on earth. Let there be peace on earth. I'll hear the sweetest sound, the sound of hope to come. Together we can bring good news to everyone. Let it start with you. Let it start with me. Let every nation rise to sing this melody. Fill the air with joyful noise. Ring the bells and raise your voice. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. If your light, let it shine. Let it shine, shine, shine. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. Fill the air with joyful noise. Lift your bells and raise your voice. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. If your light, let it shine. Peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on
Yes, thank you. Thank you. We do have a few announcements. We'll try to make this quick. Wednesday is our monthly sound bath at 7 p.m. There's a $20 admission for that, but it's so worth it, so good. And then on Saturday we have a special yoga Reiki retreat. Please sign up because there's limited spots available. So if you want to come to this, you have to sign up first. Yeah, so that's, we'll have that on the way out if you want to sign up. And then Wednesdays for the remainder of April, we'll have the intuitive eating workbook, a light supper, which you intuitively decide what you want to eat, I guess. I don't know how that's going to work. And discussion, and that's going to be led by January Ryder. That's going to be a lot of fun, and I have a copy of the workbook that's in the foyer on your way out if you want to look at it before purchasing it. And then if you can and you're willing to be able to do so, we need the chairs moved off to the side, stacked up before we leave today. Okay? I think that's it on the announcements. Very good.
Sandy, can I add one thing? If anybody did not do the walk up the
Stations of the Cosmic Christ. Yeah.
it is still set up if anybody would like to do it this afternoon.
Yeah, okay. So if you're not familiar with what that is, it's just a half-mile walk along the stream in which we had quotes from the book by Matthew Fox, Stations of the Cosmic, or the Cosmic Christ, I guess is the name of it. And it's a beautiful reflective walk, meditative walk. And that's at 9760 Beaver Creek Church Road, even though the email may have said Beaver Creek Road. So here's a little forgetfulness on the part of the admin this week. Okay, I think we have another song. Right? Are you going to stand? Let's stand as we sing this one.
We're affirming what we just participated in. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go, release and surrender. All is well, all is well, all is well. Say, I relax, let go, release and surrender. I relax, let go. Release and surrender. All is well, all is well, all is well. And every day I learn and pray how blessed I am with everything. I'm sorry. I release my fears, 'cause it's all so clear. I am held, I am loved, I am saved. I relax, let go. Release and surrender. I relax, let go. Release and surrender. I relax, let go. Release and surrender. All is well, all is well, all is well. And now I see what my life can be when I trust in the process and have faith. And now I know when I just let it go that I have all I ever need. I relax, let go. Release and surrender. I relax, let go. Release and surrender. I relax, let go. Release and surrender. All is well, all is well, all is well.
And before you sit down, if you choose to do so, I invite you to turn around and wave goodbye to our Facebook friends. We love you, we appreciate you, we are so glad you're part of this community. Oh, and YouTubers too, don't want to leave you out. Okay. Have a wonderful week. We will hopefully see you next time. Please be seated. We're going to have a closing prayer. I'm not going to take requests today, but I'm going to give space to have those requests released. So let's take this opportunity to go within once more with that understanding that we are one with the one. We are one with all that is, all the love that is, all the power that is, all the wisdom, all the life. We breathe that in and allow those words to lift us up. If there is a concern weighing heavy on our hearts, a prayer request that you would like to put into this space now and have it lifted up by the energy in this room, I invite you to say the request or the concern silently to yourself or softly aloud. I pray for John. And for all these requests, we see that activity of life within each person mentioned. We see that activity of love enfolding them, flowing through them as them. And we see wisdom leading them every step of the way, knowing that they are one with the source of all prosperity, all wisdom, all life. And so it is. Amen. And now, prepare yourselves, because we're going to do something different. We're not singing the peace song. Out with her! Out with her!
We were practicing our Progecene.
We let go, that's right. We let go. This is a wonderful way to end this Easter Day service, but I think, should we do this? No, we probably have to stay seated.
Oh, no.
All right, you guys, do rules.
And the instruction is that you're going to follow Sally. Pay no attention to
The words of listening.
We're going to try to put this up. And I'm very grateful for Sally, because we just kind of put this together last night.
You can follow me or do your own thing.
Okay.
I think you could put a stand.
Yeah, you're right. voice and an accompanying pattern, so please feel free. Let the Spirit move you in whatever way you like, whether that's physically or harmonically or a little bit of everything else. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Let Spirit wash. Let Spirit wash. Let Spirit wash. Let Spirit wash. Oh, let Spirit wash. Let Spirit wash. Washing tears away. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Let's sing. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Let Spirit wash. Let Spirit wash. Oh, let it wash. Let Spirit wash. Let Spirit wash. Let Spirit wash. Wash the tears away. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. God showed me how to love, sing and pray. Oh, sing and pray. And to give glory, sing and pray every day. Oh, every day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Let Spirit wash. Let Spirit wash. Oh, let it wash. Let Spirit wash. Let Spirit wash. Let Spirit wash. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. God showed me how to love, sing and pray. Oh, sing and pray. And how to dream, rejoicing every day. Oh, happy day. Happy day. Oh, 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 happy day. Happy day. Yeah, happy day. Happy day. Oh, happy day. Happy day. Oh, happy day. Happy day. Oh, happy, 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 happy day. Happy, 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 happy day. Happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day.
Oh, you're still standing? Let us sing. Well, we could, I guess. But let us sing our prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Happy Easter, my friends. Please join us for our coffee and snack time. And I wanted to just shout out to Alicia for bringing in some special treats, some Easter treats, and have a blessed day and a wonderful week. We'll see you back here next week, right? Amen.